gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Hey, Blue Wendell. Good to see you, friends. Welcome home. Not too much. I'm spoiled enough already. But thank you. Our first guest today has one of the most hazardous jobs in the world. He is a Hollywood stuntman. Now, that in itself, a pretty good story, except that, as usual on our show, there's a little extra gimmick on the end of it. You'll have to wait and find out about that while we meet our panel here on To Tell the Truth. Hey,
Bill Coward. Peggy Cass. Henry Morgan. And Kitty Carlisle.
our ladies are so absolutely elegant today, I feel shabby.
Oh. You look shabby, too.
I know I look shabby. That's what I just said. I look it and I feel it. Our first guest today is an unshabby gentleman, a Mr. Harvey Parry, and he is a Hollywood stuntman. Now, let me show you some film of him in action, and it'll make your job seem like a bed of roses. Lloyd, want to watch, roll the stuff there?
Ooh. Oh.
Fun, huh?
Holy cats. Nimble.
What's this? This is our first guest doing all this stuff.
Mm.
Yep.
Oh. Oh, no.
Boy, that's non-habit forming. Watch this. Watch.
Oh, the poor horse.
Where'd it go?
Horse kept running.
Yeah. Well, now, panel, as you saw, Harvey was doing those death-defying stunts way back in the era of the silent pictures. Most of that footage was shot in the 20s. But Harvey is a remarkable fella. He's still working in pictures, and what's more surprising, he is still a stuntman. As a matter of fact, those of you who have seen the recent Western spoof called Blazing Saddles,
I did.
Funny picture, you were privileged to see Harvey falling off of horses and stuff like that there. So let's meet this remarkable gentleman right now.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Harvey Parry.
Number two.
My name is Harvey Parry.
Number three.
My name is Harvey Parry.
And here's the amazing story of Harvey Parry. I, Harvey Parry, am the Dean of Hollywood Stuntmen. Known in the trade as a bump man, I have stunted for such male performers as Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton, Spencer Tracy, and James Cagney, as well as for female stars, including Mary Pickford, Carol Lombard, and Shirley Temple. In the course of my picture, I have turned over cars at 90 miles an hour and jumped from a tower into a herd of buffalo. In the film called The Call of the Wild with Clark Gable, I broke my back falling into fake snow that unfortunately contained a sharp-pointed stake. Another memorable film in which I did some zany trapeze work was A Night at the Opera, co-starring Miss Kitty Carlisle. And once for only $75, I dove 119 feet into the ocean. In the old days, some directors didn't give a hoot about a person's life. For example, in the Mack Sennett comedy car chases, we'd be coming down a hill at high speed, only to find that the bottom of the hill was covered with grease, oil, and water. Hazardous? You betcha. But it's been a great life. Still active at the age of 74. I am the only stuntman who is on Medicare. Signed, Harvey Parry. Isn't that great? Well, questions and answers will be forthcoming right after we shake the hand that feeds us.
Experience the rich maritime heritage of New England with American Cruise Lines. Known for its spectacular shoreline, charming seaside villages, and of course, the world's most delicious seafood. New England offers the perfect summer getaway. Aboard the newest fleet of small ships, experience award-winning shore excursions while visiting the most beautiful ports in the region, including Newport, Martha's Vineyard, and the Maine coast. In your spacious stateroom, magnificent views await you on your private balcony, while our gracious onboard staff ensures that your voyage will be unforgettable. Begin your journey with the leader in U.S. cruising. Visit AmericanCruiseLines.com or call for a free cruise guide. Small ship cruising, done perfectly.
Take a pea-sized amount. Apply it like a lotion. Pits, under boob, thigh folds, butt cracks, feet. This water-based cream, I'm telling you, it's invisible on the skin. It works like a dream. Why didn't someone think of this sooner?
Now, across the way from us, we have three elegantly sweatshirted gentlemen, all of whom claim to be Harvey Perry, Hollywood's oldest working stuntman. Henry Morgan, why don't you start us off?
Thank you, Shabby. Number one, there must be something odd, if you'll forgive my saying so, in the makeup of a man who does daily things that would kill ordinary people. It's what I call the evil Knievel complex. What I'm getting at is, do you think in any way that you were trying ever really to kill yourself?
No, not necessarily. It was just something by normal attrition we grew into, you know, with simple little stunts and knockabouts and bumps and grinds, and some of the other stuntmen would rub off on us and we'd pick up some more dangerous traits.
But you don't think there's something in your head that says, I think I'll do away with myself?
Oh, it didn't start out. It was just a day's pay in those days.
Number two. Thank you, sir. Number two. This gentleman just said you just start out. How did you start out?
Well, before I was in the picture business, I had been in carnivals. I was a high diver. I was an acrobat. I worked in the circuses. So at least I had a little bit of a background when I came out to pictures to do stunt work. But however, they didn't call them stuntmen, and that's how the name bumpman got into it. They used to say, and you want to do a bump?
Want to do
Thank
a
you,
bump? I thought, well, let's go to Kitty,
I'd
please.
like to continue with that. Number three, why was it called a bump?
Why was it called a bump? Because we had to take a lot of bumps, even if it was a hoochie coochie gal.
Number one, in what you did in The Night at the Opera, were you the stunt man for Harpo in that wonderful opera sequence?
I did stunts for each of them, and the portieres and the trapeze and swinging around with the chandeliers.
I see. Number two, it looked, I know I'm wrong, but when you jumped on a sofa and then out of a bedroom window in the sequence we saw, it looked kind of like fun. Was part of it fun?
Well, I think you can make any work fun.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kitty. Let's go down to Bill Cullen, please.
Number three, you mentioned doing stunts for Harold Lloyd. What was the name, number three, of that picture that Harold Lloyd spent like a long time hanging on the minute hand of a clock over about 20 stories above the street?
Safety last.
Did you work on that picture, number three?
Yes, sir.
Number two, I will ask you this. You said when you got down in a Max Sennett comedy with the Keystone Cops, you got down to the bottom of the hill and you found it covered with grease and oil and water, things like that. Did somebody do that deliberately?
No, we would do that ourselves because we try to make the car skid. In those days, we had Model T Fords, you know, and they wouldn't go very fast. So you turn the wheel and do that, you know.
And thereby got the seal of approval. Number one, in the old days, it's still true that they accomplished some feats of trickery or magic or something in their films that we don't see today. Did they have special editing or optical equipment to do those tricks?
Well, they had some stop and camera and slow up with the camera, with the, you know, slow up the frames and so on, and a number of gimmicks, editing.
Did you belong to any union? Thank you.
Oh, my. All right, we're going to Peggy Cass, last
Thank
one.
you. Number three, do you carry your own insurance, or does the picture you're working on insure you?
I'm insured through SAG.
Uh-huh. And which union do you belong to?
AFCA.
Thank you.
SAG, I mean, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
We better explain to our viewers.
Screen Actors Guild is SAG.
Okay.
Number one, what other union do you belong to?
AFTRA and the Bartenders Union and
The
SAG.
bartenders union? How come you belong to the bartenders union?
Well, that's a kind of a backup.
Not a bad backup either. Number 2, maybe you didn't get hurt, but how did the horses learn to take those jumps? Did the horses ever get hurt?
No, horses very seldom get hurt. A lot of the picture horses just love to work. And you will be on the back of one, and the assistant director will holler, "Get ready, action," and they're ready to go before you are.
And the thing is, they don't mind taking those jumps off bridges into water?
No.
We got ourselves a bell, and when we get the bell, that means that we also have to ballot. And this is a good team over here. Who do you think? Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3?
At over $4 a blade, shaving every day gets expensive. Harry's 5-blade razor offers me a close, comfortable shave. Best part, refills are as low as $2 each, half of what I paid before.
Go to harrys.com/shave to claim your $7 trial.
I love my parents. So as they've gotten older, we've had to have some not so fun conversations about their wishes if something were to happen to them.
As an estate planning attorney, most people that would come to my office were looking to create a will for their family, but many couldn't afford the fees.
That's why we started Trust and Will, a modern and affordable approach to estate planning.
Attorney-designed documents, customized by you, all through an easy-to-use website.
The way a will should be. Find the plan that's right for you at trustandwill.com.
At BUZZR, we got game. Including Match Game, Supermarket Sweep, Super Password, Family Feud, and now BUZZR's got The Price is Right.
Come on down.
BUZZR, the home of game shows.
Wrong vote, and the group gets $500 in case we all go over the cliff. And Henry starts, please.
I suppose you'd be fascinated to know my reasoning.
Yes, sir.
Well, number 1, I think, has the best build. Number 2 has the biggest frame. Number 3 has a busted nose. So, number 2.
Number 2.
Yes. So I'm voting on the strength, and I hope I'll come in by a nose.
So, you got for the 2, and we're going for Kitty Carlisle.
Well, I have to vote for number 2. I think he's a star, and I think you can always kind of tell a star, although the other 2 were marvelous.
Pair of 2s. Bill Cullen, right?
Yeah, I'm going along those lines, Kitty. There's something about number 2, when his approach, his attitude, and everything. He strikes me as someone who's been around show business and picture business his whole life, and for that reason, I voted for him.
Holy moly! All right, everybody is on 2 so far. Mary Margaret, what are you going to do, my dear?
Well, I've always tried to join and run with the crowd, so I voted for 2. I think he went from the carnies into the pictures. I believe that transition.
All right. Everybody's on number 2. The votes are in. Will the real Harvey Parry proudly, sir, please stand up?
What?
Harvey Parry in the I'm proud to know you, Harvey. I'm just sorry that we didn't do better for the other 2 fellas. Let's find out who you are. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Jim Dugan, and I'm in the stockbrokering business.
That's perilous. And number 3, sir.
My name is Miles Powell, and I'm an after-dinner and convention speaker from Mount Holly, New Jersey.
Fine enough. Well, Harvey and the other gentlemen, may I say, the only thing that made the whole affidavit somewhat unbelievable to me, not one of you looks like you're 74 years old. Whatever
Thank
you're
you,
doing,
kind
keep
sir.
it up. Take care now. Well, now, danger seems to be the name of the game on this particular edition of our show. Next up, we have a comely lass whose job it is to fly into the teeth of disaster. First, though, we'll spend a couple of minutes in the company of the folks who make this program necessary.
Washer's all washed up. I love it.
AC went kaput? That's cool.
With a home warranty from American Home Shield, every day is a good day for a breakdown. you don't have to worry about the day when something stops working or expensive repairs. Because when surprise breakdowns happen, AHS will be there to fix or replace parts of the systems and appliances you rely on every day. They help protect your time and money by connecting you with qualified pros and helping pay for covered repairs or replacements. AHS offers affordable plans for every home and options to tailor your coverage so it's just right. With more than 50 years of experience, they know how to keep you smiling when things don't go as planned. It feels good to be right when things go wrong. Get the protection you need with American Home Shield. Sign up today and get $100 off any plan with code AHS100. Visit AHS.com or call 833-PLAN-AHS for this special offer.
Growing up, I had a serious issue with my relationship with food, so I joined Weight Watchers. Never looked back. I've lost 70 pounds, and I learned to embrace every version of myself along the way.
Most people call a leaf filter when their gutters are clogged and they notice one of the many issues that can bring. Well, sometimes it's the smell of mildew when water has seeped into the interior walls, or maybe they've spotted mold in the attic. But most often, it's the more obvious signs of damage, like rotten soffit, fascia, or water pooling near their foundation. You can get ahead of costly damage by protecting your home's gutters today. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help.
Schedule your free gutter inspection today. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or visit leaffilter.com.
Now let us meet a young lady who lives with danger.
Number 1. What is your name, please?
My name is Judith Ann Newfer.
Number 2.
My name is Judith Ann Newfer.
Number 3.
My name is Judith Ann Newfer.
And here is what Judith Ann Newfer has to say for herself, and it's quite a lot, and deservedly so. I, Judith Ann Newfer, am the first woman military aviation cadet in United States history. Now a Navy lieutenant, I am a member of Weather Reconnaissance Squadron 4, popularly known as the Hurricane Hunters. When Hurricane Carmen was huffing and puffing, I made aviation history by piloting my turboprop through 175-mile-per-hour winds straight into the eye of the hurricane. On this flight, I was co-pilot for Commander Richard Search, who paid me the compliment of saying, quote, "She flew just like the veteran she is," unquote. And despite my youth, I am a veteran in a way. My father was a fighter pilot in World War II, and I soloed at the age of 16. Signed, Lieutenant Judith Ann Newfer. Well, now you know who this one's going to go to. 4,000 hours in the air, and I'll bet he never once flew into the eye of a hurricane. Bill Cullen.
I've never gotten down yet either. Hey, they sure are different than my day, Gary. They didn't make Navy flyers like that. Number 2, you were the first woman cadet, is that right?
I was the first to be commissioned, yes.
Have there been others since you?
Yes, there are 6 other women.
By golly, I'm happy to hear that. I didn't know about it, but welcome aboard, or whatever they say. Number 3, at what speed did you begin to enter the hurricane? Did you meet the initial turbulence?
Just about 190 knots.
And number 1, what's your normal speed in that turboprop that you fly?
Cruise is about 220 knots.
Uh-huh. Number 2, did you use flaps or anything like that in order to slow down?
No.
To get it. Number 2, asking, are you given a prescribed altitude at which to enter this hurricane? Does meteorology give you an altitude that they think would be the best level to enter in at, or to, whatever?
Oh, yes. We either penetrated 500 feet or 10,000 feet.
Which number 1 of the 2?
Oh, my. Which of the 2 in the buzzer went? We're going to Peggy.
Number 3, is the eye of the hurricane really still?
Yes, it's usually very calm.
And how long does it take you to get through the eye of the hurricane? I mean, how big is the eye? I've often wondered.
It normally is about 25 miles.
Oh. And number 2, what year was Carmen huffing and puffing? Carmen, the Hurricane Carmen. What year was that?
1973.
Thank you. Number 1, did you go to Colorado Springs to school?
No, I didn't.
Well, where did you go to Air Force School?
I was at Pensacola Naval Air Station in Florida, at Whiting Air Station in Florida, and at Corpus Christi in Texas.
Well, now, how did they put you up in the barracks with all those boys?
I lived off base.
Oh, did they pay for the apartment?
Sure did.
Did they do bed check and everything the way they do on the poor cadets?
No.
Okay. Oh, I didn't mean anything. Listen, number 2 was at
And there came the buzzer, and we're going to Henry Morgan.
I think you're off base.
Yeah.
You're an evil lady.
I'm not evil. I'm embarrassed.
But you're charming. Number 3, let's go back to where Uncle Willie had it. We're told you go into the hurricane at either 500 or 10,000 feet.
That's right.
At what height were you? What altitude were you when you went in?
For Carmen, it was 10,000 feet.
Oh, it was that hurricane?
Yes, it was.
Number 1, how was it decided to limit the entry to either 500 or 1,000 feet of altitude?
10,000 feet. That is.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, those are the 2 parameters, outside parameters, at which they like to get weather information.
Number 2, is there any danger when you go in at 500 feet that downdrafts will get you?
Yes. Well, you're
All right, and finally, Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number 3, when you first went into the common room with the fellas, what were they doing?
Went into the where?
Well, don't they have a sort of common room where all the cadets, all the people, all the lieutenants sit around waiting for orders and things? What were they doing?
Oh, I see. Generally just sitting around and talking, and usually they stop talking when I walk in.
Number 2, did they get over that pretty soon?
Well, yeah.
Number 1, is it not true that if you get into very bad weather in this kind of plane you fly, you need a lot of muscle to keep the plane steady or whatever? Is that true?
You need more muscle for control inputs in turbulence, yes.
Thank you. So number 2, wouldn't it be better if you had a man and a woman at the controls? Would 2 women be able to handle an airplane that needed that kind of muscle?
Yes, I can handle it.
But I mean, would 2 women be able to handle it?
Certainly.
Instead of a woman and a male co-pilot?
Oh, yes. It can be trimmed and...
Amelia Earhart.
Well, Amelia Earhart wasn't flying that kind of a plane.
Okay, we got a little bell there, friends, and you know what that means? It means balloting time. Mark down a number, and it's got to be a number 1, or a number 2, or a number 3. And Bill Cullen, I don't know whether you learned anything, but let's hear what you think.
Well, I learned something I didn't know, and I get surprised Henry, too, and that was the fact that going into a hurricane at 500 feet strikes me as a hairy thing to do, but they all agree that it's either 500 or 10,000. Forgetting that, because that came as a complete surprise, I voted for number 1.
All right, 1 short, and Peggy Cass coming
Well,
up.
number 3's hair is too long to be in the Navy. They're sort of, I think it has to clear your collar, at least I used to. Number 2, I just didn't believe you, but number 1 said the inputs into something, and when anybody says words like inputs, I know it's them.
All right. Shrewd reasoning. We've got a pair of 1s. Henry Morgan coming up.
Well, maybe this is very petty of me, but I don't like people who say instead of you need muscle, you know, input. Input's a fashionable word, and I don't think that much of it. I voted for number 2 because she's in the middle.
And you have no idea how hard our producers had to think to put number 2 in between number 1 and number 3. Days at a time. Kitty.
Well, I don't think the Navy would care that number 3's hair is too long, and I think number 1 gave marvelous answers. But number 2 has a kind of quiet confidence. Look how she's sitting. Look at her posture.
She's a famous gymnast.
She's in the Navy.
All right. That's the way we go, friends. The votes are all in. Will the real Lieutenant
3 is smiling a lot.
Judith Ann Newfer proudly stand up?
My
Lieutenant!
Sure. Hooray!
Absolutely great. Lieutenant flew right into the eye of the panel and flew out the other side with $500 for the team. Good job all around. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Susan Kelly, and I'm an editorial assistant at Ziff Davis Publishing here in New York.
Number 2, tell us about yourself.
My name is Georgiana Dugan, and I work as a waitress at the Country Tavern in Stamford, Connecticut.
No, the hair. Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes, go ahead.
Find out about the hair.
Well, there's no regulation for the girls for hair, is there?
Well, yes, there is, but as he said, my hair comes to my collar, so it's still legal.
I'm getting to the same point myself, and I never flew into the eye of anything. Thank you, Lieutenant, and thank you, young ladies, also, for being here.
Watch this. Witness what happens to this woman's bags under her eyes in an actual time lapse in just minutes. The problem will disappear before your eyes with a revolutionary topical formulation that works in just minutes, and the effects will last for hours. Over 1 million people are using this topical technique to visually reduce puffiness and bags, even fine lines and wrinkles on the face and forehead. Introducing Plexiderm. Jump on board and say yes to this amazing $14.95 Plexiderm trial. Order right now. We'll pay your shipping.
Vinci gave me twice the pits and private parts, which makes me smell twice as bad.
A PU?
That's why I use Mando whole body deodorant. The manly deodorant for all the manly crevasses of my manly body.
Mando, he smells good.
Mando doesn't just block odor all day. It controls odor for 72 hours. With cologne quality scents. Roma wasn't built in a day, but with Mando, you can smell good for 3 of them. So if you want to smell better naked, then go to shopmando.com today.
Whoa, now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth, but they just used Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
We need some help.
I know. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. And if approved, we can have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need.
Why is Navage perfect for allergies?
People who have allergies will have lots of problems. If someone's exposed to allergens, they can get rid of those immediately by washing out the nose. Navage works by pulling saline in one nostril, through the nose and out the other nostril, sucking out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs. Experience on-the-spot relief so you can breathe easier, sleep better, feel healthier. If you have seasonal allergies, Navage can help.
Available at major retailers or online at Navage.com.
Panel and friends, I am modest enough but proud enough to show you something that I've just been given. You know, in the line of duty on this and various other shows, I've wrestled alligators and slept with lions and stuff like that. Harvey Perry is kind enough to give me a belt buckle which says that I am an honorary member of the Hollywood Stuntmen's Association, and I'm very proud to have that.
This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Cookman, Bill Cotman production.